Hello. As I said in the email, our goal from the first day we met or spoke to you is getting you off the diet roller coaster and back to real life. To do this, we should have an understanding of people and what they go through when it comes to weight gain and weight loss. There is so much more to losing weight than just what you eat or drink. There are lifestyle changes that must be made. We have learned from our most successful clients that there are mindsets and deep belief systems that must be challenged and remodeled or completely taken down and totally rebuilt. Almost everyone has heard of the fat girl or guy syndrome. This is when people lose weight but still live as if they were overweight. They still live as if they are taking up that much space in the world. They still stand in the back of the room not wanting to be seen, and they still walk around viewing themselves as a lesser person in stature and character, just like they did before. Their confidence level did not rise when they lost the weight, nor did their self-esteem. And do you know why? Because those things really don't have anything to do with a person's weight. We should have high self-esteem and high self-confidence no matter what weight we are, but we don't. And for many of us, we didn't want people looking at us, so we built that fat wall around us and began using food as a source of punishment and excuses. And I speak from experience with this. Therefore, losing weight is only a band-aid to self-esteem issue that people really have. If you have done the diet thing before, then you are a candidate for our anchor system. And if you are someone who would benefit from consistent introspection, which helps unearth unsupported beliefs. For people who continually diet, the weight issue is a byproduct of the poor self-image issue. Being overweight is just a symptom, it is not the disease. The disease behind all of these self-image issues is a lack of self-love, and that is what we want our clients to work on when they come here. No self-love leads to low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-confidence, inability to forgive, and so many other ancillary self-image issues. What we have seen is that we can begin healing that disease of low self-love, then all of the other issues that are symptoms of that disease begin fixing themselves. And if self-love levels go up, weight issues will go down. Building your inner self does not happen overnight. You will run into many roadblocks along the way. Changing your eating habits during this program for the 3 to 12 weeks that you are with us will not permanently change your relationship with food, but it will be the beginning of permanent change that you are desiring if you take the opportunity to be introspective, identify your triggers, learn how to deal with stress differently, and begin taking charge of your life. Core beliefs that drive all our behavior and dictate our level of self-love that we allow have been ingrained since early childhood. The biggest roadblock we face when trying to change is that we are consistently chipping away old and rebuilding new. The anchors we start you with are easy to incorporate and they're very simple to use. We have to remember that our core belief systems are like walls built around us, which fortify the way that we currently live and think. They are safe, comfortable, and familiar. When we start knocking down those walls, or even as small chipping away at the top layer of the wall, it can be scary and may even create anxiety. If something stressful happens when our wall is down, we might even quickly build it back up again for safe protection. This is an indication of when you have reverted back to old habits. And although it happens very easily, the replacement wall is not strong. So if you go right back and knock it down by trying those new habits again and your new way of thinking, it will come down fast and take with it a little more of the original wall that's there. Remember, when we realize we didn't follow through or we forgot that we even started a new habit, this is very typical of most people to get angry or have a feeling of helplessness or hopelessness because we don't think that will ever change. But what we don't realize is that every time you start a new habit, you quit, you get back up again, you are getting closer and closer to permanent change. The first key to changing core beliefs and increasing self-love levels are to do things that consistently chip away at old and build new. When trying to change, the key is consistency, not giant steps, small ones that are consistent. Before watching the rest of the video, please have the answers to the questions from the attached questionnaire. So let's begin by teaching you about a few very easy tools to incorporate into your daily life process of reminding you that you're on a new journey and you will not stop chipping away at the unsupported belief systems that keep you in the negative loop. If you're like most people, the top 3 answers on your sheet are weight loss, feel better, and get healthy. And if you also chose any of those, you know your physical body is in need of help, and that is what we call the outer game. But we know the outer game is directly connected to the inner game, which consists of our emotions, our coping skills, and the negative chatter, among other things. One does affect the other, and we have all experienced at one point or another in our lives. In fact, you wrote some answers down for questions 1 and 2 that prove the outer and inner game are connected. You might have written things like you avoid social events, fashionable clothing, you might only have black or sweatpants or stretchy things in your closet. Maybe you don't like being in pictures or going to the beach anymore. Or maybe you can't do the activities that you used to. Or keep up with the kids and grandkids. Whatever it is, you no longer want to live this way, and you won't. For question 3, I asked you to write down the things that have held you back. For most of you, you know that these things are within your control. For some of you, there could be some things that are not in your control. Some of you might have written down that you don't have time or you've been too busy. That would be an excuse. But then there could be something like type 1 diabetes, which is something that complicates your weight loss. Let's make the distinction here. This is an obstacle, or is it an excuse? Type 1 diabetes would be an obstacle, but never let that obstacle become your excuse. So you will do the best that you can with what the resources you have and see where it takes you. For the last question I asked you, what would you gain or how would your life be different if you woke up tomorrow morning and you were the perfect weight? You probably wrote happy, excited, confident. Those are a few favorites we love to show people. You see, these are the reasons why you came to us and wanted to start a diet. These are the most important things to you. This is why people get so upset when the scale doesn't move or it's not doing what we think we deserve. These things are what we feel are not within our reach, and now they are connected to our body image and our weight. So the first thing I want you to do is identify and write down your top 3 gains that you have as a result of losing the weight. And now what you're going to do is make a mental and physical connection to that emotion that you're feeling by using your inhaler. So after you write down your 3 things, take out your inhaler. And then what I want you to do is smell the inhaler while you're reading those 3 top things out loud to yourself. So take a minute and do that first. If you got an inhaler with the letter V on it, this stands for valor. I want you to accept the fact that you've got this and ask God what you need to learn from this particular anchor that you got. This supposed random act might not be so random. Valor means great courage. It means bravery. It means daring, fearlessness, audacity, boldness. You have backbone and you have spirit. So your journey toward good health and weight loss will include you speaking up for yourself, not letting people take advantage of you, not taking on other people's stress or their issues, standing up for someone else perhaps, yes, but having the confidence to not do it your usual way. And maybe be open to, I always say, letting your red flags be green ones. If you got the inhaler with an R, this means release. Your weight loss journey will include releasing many things besides your weight. You need to let go of old hurts, old issues, old relationships, people from your past. You need to release and forgive and allow love to come in. Releasing fear of not only failure, but also release that fear of success. When you begin releasing the emotional baggage that you have carried for years, weight will be released as well with those emotions. So let it go and move on. The inhaler is a powerful reminder for you to use throughout the day. It's helping you make that connection between your desired result and that positive emotion you felt when you wrote what you wrote. Read your first positive gain out loud, like I said, and deeply smell that inhaler. Do the same thing for the other 2. Pause the video while you do this. Okay, so remember, this powerful anchor that can be used all the time. If you are stressed or feeling like you're not going to be victorious, take out that inhaler. Breathe in deeply. And only when you're stressed or feeling weak? No. You can definitely use this when you reach a goal, accomplish a milestone, or complete your day with thankfulness. You are getting closer every day to realizing your hard work and one of your most important goals. Have a completely positive attitude wrapped around this inhaler. And FYI, if you don't like the smell you got, essential oil experts say that's the one you actually needed the most. Your next anchor goes with the number 1 gain. So out of those top 3 gains that you wrote, please pick one of them and write that one down. After you get it, please write it as an I am statement. So for example, if your top gain was confidence, you could write down, I am confident. or I exude confidence. The one thing I want you to remember is that these are called affirmations, and they need to be written in a positive sense with the spirit of you already have it in your possession. You don't want to be using words like I'm going to be confident. Remember, write it in the present. Also, when writing affirmations, don't write them in the negative sense, like I am not going to cheat. Turn that around. I am victorious 100%. So now you can pause the video again and write down your first affirmation in the space provided. Welcome back. I just said write down your first affirmation because I don't want this one to be the only one you ever write. Pick other things you want in life and write them. Start visualizing that you have these things. Say your I ams daily. Keep track of them in your journal, which, by the way, could be a cheap dollar store notebook with tabs dividing up the notebooks, like a tab for your I ams, a tab for your thankfuls, a tab for any struggles you might be going through, changes that you've seen, any food and mood connections that you might have noticed, patterns with food that you've noticed. Take inventory of what you have in your life. And this is the time to do it because your thoughts, words, and actions are closely related to food and mood. The next anchor we would love if you use 2 to 3 times a day. It's so beneficial and it actually supports weight loss, and this is deep breathing. Deep breathing can release stress, feel calmer, help you deal with fear, anger, more productivity. This is a modern day fight or flight equivalent. Fear and anger is a modern day fight or flight equivalent. Deep breathing is sometimes used to treat anxiety disorders, sleep problems, and even general body aches and pains. Deep breathing releases endorphins throughout the body. Endorphins are those feel-good, natural painkillers created by our own body. When practicing deep breathing, the upward and downward movement of the diaphragm helps remove toxins from the organs, which promotes better blood flow and energy and weight loss. Sit in a comfortable position with your hands on your knees and your shoulders relaxed. Breathing begins with exhaling, as you cannot fully inhale until you empty your lungs completely. Breathe in through your nose and exhale slowly through your nose while you count to 5. Tighten or tense up the abdomen muscles. At the end of your breath, pause for 2 counts and then inhale slowly while you count to 5. Expand your belly as you breathe and close your eyes and repeat this 5 to 10 times. Again, try to do this a couple of times throughout the day. If your mind wanders during this exercise, do not worry. Acknowledge that thought and refocus on your counting. You will become more and more aware of your breathing, and you will find that it becomes easier to breathe deeply without overthinking. The secret is simply to breathe deeply and often. In addition, focusing on your breathing during physical activities, such as exercise, can also help you become more mindful of your body and really helps improve self-awareness. Your fourth anchor is the most important one out of all of them, and this is your self-love statement. At the bottom of your page, you can fill this in. I will not let anyone or anything, including myself, come before my own wellness. I am important, I am worthy, I am loved. Saying this 10 times in the morning as you look in the mirror and 10 times at night before you go to bed will begin to create that narrative that you want and need in your life to sustain the structure that you are looking for. And what I mean by that is this. Right now you're on a very structured diet, and for many of you, you have done the structured diets before. So you like that structure, and a lot of you have said that to me, and you need it. But as soon as that structure is gone, you go back to your old habits again. And that is because you're depending on the diet structure to keep you disciplined. That is because you have not built a new belief system that you are comfortable with, so you will keep running back to your old one. A really structured diet is not how anyone should have to live, nor do they want to. So what you will be doing during the low-calorie diet is living in your tiny house step 2. But also, you'll be consistently using your anchors during this time. This is how your new structure will be built and ready for you to move into when you're done on a low-calorie diet. The number one thing you have to do right now is to reinstill in your heart that you are worth living. When you start telling yourself that you love yourself and you have forgiven yourself for past mistakes and you will no longer condemn yourself for the would've, should've, could'ves in your life, you will begin to see that you are worth more than the dollar menu at the McDonald's, and your wellness will be important. You will want to make good choices for you and your body. Do you know that even God tells you to love yourself? He has 2 commandments. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul. And the second one is love your neighbor as yourself. That's right. And when you look at this scripture and you look it up, the historical proof through the language used by God's definition of loving yourself actually equates to physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. So begin convincing yourself of the truth. Stop believing the lies that you and others have told you from the past. Start walking in your worthiness and your amazing power. The last anchor that we have is the hair tie. It might be from India or China, I don't remember. It's cheap, it's no big deal. But what we have, why do we have it? It serves as a reminder that you are doing something different. You are doing something new. You are on a journey. Many times it's not that we don't want to change. We just forget that we were trying to walk down a new path every morning when we get up. Let this be a reminder to you that you're surrounded by positive motion forward. Snap it if you want to every time you say your daily love statement. Snap it every time you say your affirmations, or don't. Just have it on and allow it to be a constant reminder of change every time you look at it. These actions and objects which make up your anchors are not in and of themselves anything special. It's the mindset, it's the words, it's the beliefs that you are connecting to them. These are the things that are making the difference. The key is consistency and belief, and that's what these anchors are all about. Remember, you will not act contrary to your belief system. So if you truly believe that you are amazing and awesome, you will act like it. Thank you so much, guys. This is our anchor system. Use it daily. We'll talk about it on Thursday nights. Talk about it on Team Breakthrough as well and Team Transition. Have a great day.